I'm going to rank Lego games because I haven't learned my goddamn lesson. Hello, it's me who has opinions, not right ones, and they're all on Lego games. And I just completed the Lego games episode of Scott the Woz. That was a tremendous undertaking, primarily because I was never really into these games before this point, you know, like I played a couple of them here and there, and I respected them, but, you know, they weren't really necessarily my cup of tea. I just kind of felt like every time I tried, specifically a TT Games Lego game, I would get stuck for like 30 minutes on a part, and it would just drag it down so much for me. But then Lego games was the topic that won this Scott the Woz episode ballot I did, where I had viewers vote on what topic they would want to see done, and Lego games was the winner. And it took me like a goddamn year to get that done, because going through as many of these games as I possibly could have, and trying to form an opinion on these games, that many of which are very similar to each other, but they're also games that I don't really have like a huge history with. I think that's the main thing. That was kind of like what was the hardest part for me. Most other Scott the Woz episodes I've done like are on topics that I already have like a pretty decent knowledge on, so there's not like an overwhelming amount of research that I need to do. Lego games, that's all I had to do. And that shit was 2 hours long. So yeah, that's why it took a very long time. I'm really sorry for that, but here we are. And I kind of just want to make the most of this time I spent playing all these damn games, and rank them based on just what I know. You know, this isn't going to be every Lego game. I didn't play technically every single Lego game. But, you know, I'm going to rank the ones that I think are noteworthy enough to discuss, or ones that I have enough to really say about here. Which, again, keep in mind, I am not an expert on these games whatsoever, but I will definitely say, through this experience, I gained a pretty big appreciation for these games. I think at some point I would not mind going through one and 100%ing it just for funsies. Most of these are genuinely like really good games. I think these are great kids games, family games, you know, casual games, just games anybody can pick up and play and just have a good time with. You know, they're simple, but they're not too mindless. You know, you still have to be engaged, but it's not like you have to commit a whole hell of a lot of your brain energy or anything to these games. You know, they're all so similar, but they also all have a lot of significant differences. So I do like these games for the most part. I think there's a couple that I have a problem with, and we'll talk about those. I'll probably repeat myself a fair amount from the Scott the Woz episode on Lego games. So, you know, this might be kind of like a fun little companion piece, or maybe if you want me rambling a little bit more rather than scripted talking about this stuff, well, here you go. But damn it, I wasted months of my life doing this. I'm gonna milk this knowledge to the best of my ability. The first game up is the first Lego game ever. It's Lego Fun to Build for the Sega Pico. This is at the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, I mean, props to them for doing like a Lego game, the first Lego game ever. It's a little weird that it's on the Sega Pico, of all things. I think it would have made a lot of sense to see like a Lego game on like NES or something, or Super Nintendo. But no, the Sega Pico, only in Japan. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people haven't even played this game. It's not very good. You know what's really dumb about this one is like a big element of it is like the Lego building part. And it's stupid. Like, you don't actually build these things. You get this list of Lego pieces, and you have to pick the right one that you have to put on the build next. It's all about the right order. Placing these things in the correct order. The problem is there isn't like a designated like puzzle to solve here. Like, it's all about just like knowing which order to place these in. It's just whatever the order the game decides. It's like, it's completely just like, you just have to know it. It's not like how the building mini games are in like Lego Island or whatever, where you have to find the right piece and they show you a little outline. No, it's like, hey, what do you think goes on this Lego ship next? oh, you're wrong for some reason. And the mini games are literally just like the most bare basic mini games. It's like, race, top-down race. I don't care. Lego Island is generally considered like the first actual Lego game. You know, Lego Fun to Build was the first Lego game, but Lego Island is kind of like, you know, that's the first one that fucking mattered. This one gets a lot of credit just based on being the very first Lego game, and I think it really hit it out of the park for being the first one. You know, from my perspective, if I was a kid, you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s playing this game, I would have loved it. I think it would have been so cool. The fact that you customize all this stuff, you have this like open world to explore, you know, you get to discover all these things, you know, for a kid, like this world seems genuinely endless. The fact that you can go into a helicopter and just go through the whole thing, like it is amazing. It's not a game that you want to play today at all. Like if you want to play this game today, it's because you played it as a kid. So outside of it being like a lot of people's childhood game, being like the Lego game to start it all fundamentally, that's where a lot of the love for it comes from. And I think it's warranted, but also, like, you know, let's call a spade here. Lego Island isn't very good. It's amazing for its time, but I don't ever care to play this game ever again. But you know what? I gotta give it credit for being, like, you know, it started a revolution. Really, it did. This is really impressive for 1997, and I think it also really did a great job translating the Lego brand to a video game format. So for that, I think it belongs in B tier. Now, by comparison, the sequels, we got Lego Island 2 and we got Island Extreme Stunts. No Lego on this one. These are a tier below. I don't think they're like absolutely god awful, but man, I don't care about these at all. Lego Island 2 kind of takes a lot of the charm out of the first one, in my opinion. I do feel like the transition from first person to third person makes the game feel kind of like small, and it turns it into something where like the time in which this game released and being in third person, it just makes the game feel unimpressive. And, you know, it's to the point where I'm like, why would I want to play this instead of Lego Island 1? And for me personally, at this very moment, I don't have a damn reason to play Lego Island 2. Now, Island Extreme Stunts kind of takes the general like location and franchise of Lego Island and creates a game that involves like a bunch of different extreme like stunt racing kind of mini games out of that, where, you know, you still can explore around the island. And it is definitely, like, you know, nice and high quality now. You know, it's on the PS2. But again, it's kind of like in this weird place where, like, I'm expecting more from it for being, like, a PS2 game from 2003. Like, I just look at what Lego Island 1 did in 1997, and I just think, like, wow, think of the possibilities. Like, think about how much more they could do with this concept. And they don't really do it, you know? This just feels like they just wanted to make another game. A kind of just the same game, just kind of like a different vibe to it. I don't know. I just don't really care about these ones. Lego Island started it all, and then these kind of feel like they just wanted to recreate that magic, but also not really try to do that. I'm putting Island Extreme Stunts above Lego Island 2, but still, it's still in C tier because I'm an ass. Lego Racers is an easy B tier. It's just a good, solid little car racer from the 90s, you know? There's not really much they got super wrong with this one, other than, you know, like, obviously there's better alternatives. But for what it is, you know, like, hey, you can make your own Lego vehicle in this game. That was really cool at the time. Customize your own little character, and just, you know, it's a solid kart racer. That's what it is. You know, obviously there are better alternatives. You have, you know, your Mario Kart 64s, your Diddy Kong Racings, but, you know, for what it is, Lego Racers, it's a solid little game. Lego Racers 2, I don't give a shit about this game. That goes at the bottom of C tier. They try to do this like open world concept with the racing, and that makes it so then all the tracks are just like lame ass tracks set up in this open world, and it doesn't work. I don't like this stupid ass game. Drome Racers. Yeah, Lego Racers 3. Yeah, this is during the weird era where Lego was trying to step away from Lego being Lego. It's like, that's why Lego Island Extreme Stunts is just called Island Extreme Stunts, because, oh god, the Lego brand is lame. I think Drome Racers is better than Lego Racers 2, but I'll still put it below Lego Island 2. Soccer Mania, that gets a D. That's just a shitty-ass soccer game. Sorry. Okay, I'm really sorry. I gotta stop being so negative here. Let's talk about the TT games. Because like this early era of Lego games, I have absolutely barely any patience for. All right, let's talk about Lego Star Wars. Okay, so Lego Star Wars 1 and 2 in the complete saga. I think obviously like the solution here is to just talk about the complete saga because you know that's just Lego Star Wars 1 and 2 combined into one game. And this is like one of the most masterful like examples of that. The complete saga is generally considered like this is like the best Lego game out there, and you know like that's completely warranted. This shit is 2 games in one. And it doesn't even feel like that. I think that's the most impressive thing about it. So many other games that are actually like 2 games combined, you can tell like where the cutoff is, you know? Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, doesn't feel like that because like they genuinely combined everything into one package. And what a package. This is genuinely one of the best, like it's still one of the best Lego games, and I don't think it belongs anywhere but S tier. I think what's really cool about the complete saga is that there's so many little things about it that just still like excite me like when I'm playing it. Like it's just there's a lot of really cool things in here. I mean, it's even down to like you know all the unlockable characters and you know the characters that they did add in this game. The fact that you can unlock Lego Indiana Jones is just a really cute little Easter egg. Like just seeing all the bonus levels and just having like literally the first 6 Star Wars movies just all available here, and just seeing them like recreated in quirky little Lego form. Like this is one of the best family games of all time. Now, what followed with Lego Indiana Jones, I think this was a good one. I think it belongs in A tier. It obviously followed the same steps as Lego Star Wars 1, where, you know, you're adapting the first 3 Indiana Jones movies. But, you know, I think this is, like, pretty much exactly what you'd expect it to be. Now, Indiana Jones doesn't really have, like, the wealth of characters and iconic like locations and scenes as much as Star Wars does. You know, it has them, but you know, not as much. So, you know, it is kind of a tough act to follow, but I think they did a good job with the material that they had. Now, I would like to just jump around a little bit because I'd like to talk about Lego Indiana Jones 2. So this released in 2009, and Lego Indiana Jones 2 is one of the most pointless feeling games out there. Now, okay, let's be fair here. It is and it isn't. It's pretty obvious to me that like TT Games was told like, hey, we want you to do another Lego Indiana Jones based on Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And they had to do it because it just feels really weird to go from the first game that's like, hey, we're adapting the first 3 Indiana Jones movies, to the second game that's like, hey, we're gonna adapt the entirety of the 4th movie and give you just random little bits from the first 3 movies too. I'm like, why? Like, it's just dumb. You know, you kind of think it's just like, why don't you just wait until another Indiana Jones movie comes out or something like that? Of course, like, you know, they probably don't want to wait around however long it took from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull to the Dial of Destiny in like 2023. But my point is, this game just kind of felt a little weird coming out when it did, as soon as it did. This released like a year and a half after the first game. They were trying some new things with this one, and I don't think many of them ended up working. The levels in Lego Indiana Jones 2 follow like certain structures, where you have the standard Lego levels where, you know, you're exploring a level and you have to solve puzzles and maybe beat up some enemies. And then you have the levels where you're basically doing nothing but beating up enemies. And then you have the levels where you're in a vehicle and you're trying to destroy the other vehicles on the screen. The only good levels in this are the standard Lego levels. The vehicle levels are horrible. They're genuinely not good. It's literally just like a giant game of cat and mouse. Like, they're not difficult at all. It's just annoying because these levels are so big, and a lot of the time, like, you just have to wait for a car to come around to you, and then you just try to ram into it a couple of times, and that's it. And like, those levels ended up taking me like the longest because like it's completely just based on like, all right, like, When is this car coming around? Oh, should I chase this car? Should I just stop here and wait for it to come back around to me? The beat 'em up levels are not very interesting because like Lego games don't really have like in-depth combat. It's literally just down to mash the attack button until your enemy dies. So yeah, the source material of this game is weird. I think it's weird that, you know, oh, you have, you know, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and then random bits from 1, 2, and 3. Okay. The levels themselves are lower quality than many of the other Lego games. You do have like the Lego creator mode, and that's actually pretty in-depth. So like this game isn't horrible or anything. I will say, like, if this is your Lego game, if this is your TT Lego game, it'll do the job. But man, this game, like, at its core is just kind of mediocre slop. You know, like they did a fine job with it and everything, but I think a couple of the ideas that it had fell on their face, and the game itself just kind of feels like it shouldn't even really exist. I'm gonna put this at the top of C tier. You know, I still don't mind playing it, you know, like, and this is like a distant high C tier compared to the other cretins in C tier, but I definitely don't think it belongs in B. I kind of want to hop around with the Lego Star Wars games too. So you have Lego Star Wars 3, which I was on autopilot with this game, to be perfectly honest. I've never seen the Clone Wars, but to me it does sort of feel like, all right, we're kind of stretching things here. Okay, now we're doing a Lego Star Wars, and it's number 3. This is the direct follow-up to Lego Star Wars 2 based on the original trilogy, and this is based on the Clone Wars TV show. Oh, come on. I heard that show is great, but, you know, just that's the vibe I get from this game. It just kind of feels like, oh, we need to make another Lego Star Wars, so we're going to make one based on the Clone Wars, instead of like, well, naturally, this is the next thing to do. The game is definitely a little different. I mean, like, there's like some straight up like tower defense stuff in this game where, you know, you have to defend your base and also capture bases. But overall, you know, like, it's yeah, like, it's fine. I'd give it a high B. Now, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens is definitely one that I think is often overlooked because of its placement. You know, I originally said in the Lego Games episode of Scott the Woz that it almost feels like it's the most skippable because, you know, like all the other entries kind of cover like a very specific like chunk of the Star Wars franchise, where this one is just like, hey, this is about the Force Awakens movie, and that's pretty much it. There's some levels based on elements surrounding that, like the epilogue is based on Return of the Jedi. But for the most part, like, yeah, this is the only Star Wars, Lego Star Wars game based on just one single movie. And then when you have the Skywalker Saga after that, where it covers all 9 movies, this one kind of feels like, you know, it's just kind of a weird little like midway fart between Lego Star Wars 3 and the Skywalker Saga. But you know what? After playing the Skywalker Saga, I think this game definitely deserves a lot more appreciation. I think it's actually a really solid Lego Star Wars game. I mean, this was the first Lego Star Wars in a good bit. Like, Lego Star Wars 3 released in 2011, and this came out in 2016. And, you know, the gap between those, there was a ton of Lego games between that where they were evolving this formula quite a bit. It's still practically the same, but comparing Lego Star Wars 3 to Force Awakens, you can definitely see a huge jump. And then one of the new additions to this, I actually think is like really smart. It's the idea of multi-builds, where when you have a bunch of Lego pieces on the ground, if they're shining in a certain way, you can, you know, hold the stick in certain directions and it will build different objects. And I think that's actually a cool way to mix things up, because doing that means, okay, this pile of Lego bricks can build one of like 3 different objects, but that you can only build one at a time. And then you have to, you know, destroy it, and then you can build a different version. It makes sense, and then they could design some puzzles around that. It's like, okay, I have to build this structure first, and then destroy this, and then build this structure, because, you know, building that structure leads into this one, or something. You know, like, it's definitely interesting. It's not necessarily like that fun, but it's not bad. I think it does a pretty good job mixing things up. They also have like these third-person shooter blaster sections. I don't care about those. At the end of the day, I think Force Awakens is a pretty damn good more modern Lego Star Wars game. I'd honestly put it in A tier. Like, my biggest problem with it is the fact that it's just based on one movie. And most of the time, these Lego games, if they're based on one movie, they kind of feel a little stretched out. Case in point, the Lego Movie video game. Let's talk about these ones. The first Lego Movie video game, you know what? I'm gonna put that one in the top of B tier. Mainly because, like, I think this game definitely has its flaws. It gets pretty damn monotonous at times. Like, the levels just drag on in this one more than a lot of other Lego games, in my opinion. I'm like thinking, like, my god, I was in that Cloud Cuckoo land for literally like 2 hours, and I'm just like, I'm getting so damn tired of this thing. So it's just like, yeah, I just feel like the variety of environments in this game is pretty limited. I'm just kind of in the same place for way too long. These levels drag on way too long. And it's also a lot shorter than most other Lego games, so I would not say this is like the go-to pick. But I did have a lot of fun with this one. I think this one is not bad at all. I love the variety of characters. There's so many different characters in this game, and even just exploring around like all the different hub worlds, I think they have such a very fun charm to them. To just explore around, just discover all these different things. You know, everything's so colorful, and you know, it kind of has a similar charm to, like, let's say Lego City Undercover, because, you know, the Lego movie is based on, you know, the Lego brand. And Lego City Undercover is kind of based on the Lego brand, so as much as the Lego Movie video game is obviously based on the movie, I think it's kind of refreshing to have kind of like a more original Lego-based video game like this, where you know, just the vibes are so nice and happy and colorful, and you know, it is very fun. I do like this game. It's definitely lower on the totem pole, but it's not bad. Now, Lego Movie 2, on the other hand... Oh no, who did that? The Lego Movie 2 video game is one of the weirdest games in the TT Games Lego lineup. It is so different. It's mostly like based on Lego Worlds, which is weird as hell. Like, Lego Worlds is like a Lego take on Minecraft. So then this is like taking that structure and trying to make a more traditional Lego game out of it. It's not really about like building things. I mean, it is, but like not in the same sense of like how Lego Worlds is about building things. You pretty much roam around this like giant open hub world, and you know, you go up to a character or you go up to a situation, and it's like, oh my god, I might need to build this. So you build them something. You might have to go around, collect some bricks to build something. So you do it, and then there you go. I remember looking at like a Game Rant or something, ranking of all the Lego games, and this was in like the lower tiers alongside Lego Movie 1 video game, and they said Lego Movie 2 video game is in this lower tier because it's basically just the same thing as Lego Movie 1. Wrong! The Lego Movie 2 video game, another quick cash grab. It's essentially the same game as its predecessor, but in a few different locations. This game features little creativity, and is just an overly simple, linear journey through the events of the movie. These people didn't play this game. I'm sorry, I bet you're a fine person, and I bet you did actually play a lot of these other Lego games. I don't fault you for not playing the Lego Movie 2 video game and just assuming that it's just the same as the Lego Movie 1 video game, but it is not the same as the Lego Movie 1 video game. It is one of the most different Lego games out there, and it sucks. Let's bring things up a little bit. I would like to talk about another game that I think is quite excellent. This is Lego City Undercover, and I remember actually giving this game a bit of flack back in the day, just kind of going like, it's fine, but it's just another Lego game. I don't really care. I kind of came around to the idea that, like, honestly, I think this is another S tier. This right here might be like the best Lego game. Like, I look at like everything this does, and I just think they did a really damn good job with this game. One of my biggest complaints about this game is just the fact that the load times on the Wii U version are like absolutely just diabolical. I think that shows like this is a really good Lego game. I think they did a really good job with this. I feel like the open world in this game is really well realized, to the point that like it doesn't even really feel like when you enter a normal like Lego games level, it just feels like a very natural part of the world. It doesn't really feel like, oh, I've entered a level here. This just feels like a very good, like, just traditional Lego experience. Like, I just feel like this is kind of like the culmination of like everything Lego in video games has been and has done well. You know, like it feels like kind of a full realization of what Lego Island was meant to be. Just the fact that you have this big open world Lego world, and you know, it's an original Lego game. You have a Lego sense of humor. You know, you're not basing this off of some IP or whatever. You kind of combine the charm and the original ideas of like the pre-TT games Lego games, and then you combine that with the quality and design of the TT games Lego games, and you get what I think is like kind of like one of the most ultimate Lego experiences, right alongside Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. I just feel like these two are like the most definitive you can get for a Lego game. But speaking of which, what about another S-tier Lego game? Okay, well. Okay, Mr. Mackerel, what do you think about the Lego Batman games? He has no opinion, so I might as well have one. Okay, so the original Lego Batman is one of the only Lego games that I actually have like a childhood experience with, and yeah, I did not get far on this one as a kid. Playing it these days, I think it is quite good. You know, like I think they did a good job with this game. I will definitely say, you know, the Batman vibe of being like completely like in the dark. You know, Gotham City. You know, it's Gotham City, so it's gonna be really dark out. You know, it does kind of allow for some feeling of sameness between levels, but I think they definitely do elevate things with, like, you know, the fact that it's Batman. You have all these different Batman characters. You have a full villains campaign, which, you know, hasn't been done in these Lego games before. I think this is, you know, at the top of A. It's classic. This is another classic Lego game. But, you know what? I think Lego Batman 2 belongs at the top of S as well. This was a huge leap forward for the franchise. This was the first game to include voice acting, which, love it or hate it, I feel like Lego Batman 2 did a good job with the voice acting. I feel like when you get to things like when the games just rip lines directly from the movies, I don't think that's that cool. Whenever I would watch like reviews from you know, publications at the time, like let's say like IGN's or whatever, a lot of them would say like, oh man, you know what, it works that they do that. And I'm like, there's a difference between like it works and it's like they could have done more with this. You know, like you look at something like Lego Batman 2, Lego Marvel Superheroes, and the fact that like these games have original stories and original lines and original dialogue and all of this stuff, and then you go to something like Lego Lord of the Rings or Lego Avengers, and they just rip the dialogue straight from the movies. I just don't find that as charming. I would much rather them just keep the Lego figures mute or write brand new lines for them. And write new jokes or something. You can still adapt the movies, but just with like different voice lines or something. You know, I honestly don't really mind the voice acting when it's in this context with Lego Batman 2. The fact that it does tell an original story, because that was one of the biggest problems with Lego Batman 1, is the fact that this was the first Lego game to tell an original story. But the fact that it's told with no dialogue, like, what the hell kind of an original story is it? You just see a bunch of Batman villains going, hoo, 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 and then, like, they do some shit. Then Batman and Robin come out and they're like, oh, these fucking guys. Lego Batman 2's story is actually pretty good. I will say the title is a little misleading, not because DC superheroes aren't involved, but it is literally all about just Superman until like the last 2 levels of the game. The last 2 levels of the game are when you actually get like other DC superheroes in the game, and you know, then you can, you know, play as them and all of that, and that's all great. So the title isn't really a lie, but for the majority of the playthrough, it's just Superman. But again, I think they do a great job like balancing out like Superman and Batman. You know, Batman is obviously more about like his suit and the technology behind it and like using that to your advantage, whereas Superman is all about, you know, he's super powered, he's invincible, all of that. And I think they did a really good job balancing that out so that it doesn't really feel like oh, Superman's invincible. Why wouldn't I just use him? You know, he still feels like Superman. You know, he still feels as powerful as Superman, but like you still have more than enough reason to play as Batman and want to play as Batman. And that's really impressive. You know, that couldn't have been an easy thing to kind of balance out as a developer. On top of that, you have like the giant open world in this game. This was the first LEGO game to incorporate that from TT Games. And yeah, again, they did a really good job with it. I think the camera with like the vehicles in the open world is a little too far up your ass in LEGO Batman 2, but you know, it's more than doable. I think this belongs in S tier. I think this is one of the best LEGO games. And you know what? Let's go for another one. LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Boom. I think this is pretty similar to like LEGO Batman 2, but you know, it's just the quality is upped even further. And just because like, you know, LEGO Batman 2 is a Batman game with DC superheroes in it. LEGO Marvel Superheroes is just all about being like this big old Marvel fuck fest. You know, it's meant to be a celebration of everything Marvel, and I think they do an incredible job of that. I think it feels like this ultimate video game experience. It feels incredible. You know, the character list looks literally endless in this game, and everything just feels like really, really cool, especially compared to like LEGO Batman 2, which, like I said, is pretty much just about Batman, Robin, and Superman for most of the game. This one, there's this huge variety of characters you play as in each level. And the fact this came out at the launch of the next-gen systems at the time, the PS4 and Xbox One, it's just like this game feels like a big step up for LEGO at the time. LEGO Batman 2 kind of created the foundation for what LEGO games would be like moving forward for the next couple of years. And I think LEGO Marvel Superheroes was kind of like the peak of that formula. Now, LEGO Batman 3, I like this game. I think it's pretty good. It feels very confused. For like the first third of this game, it is honestly pretty boring. Because this game, like, a good chunk of this game just takes place in this damn, like, space station. And it just gets old, man. Eventually, it gets a lot more interesting. Like, you eventually go to different planets and everything, and, you know, I think that's really fun. But it also doesn't really feel like a Batman game, so I just kind of wish they would just bite the bullet and just call it LEGO DC Superheroes instead of calling it LEGO Batman 3. It feels like they kind of go a little too big in this one, but also, like, not big enough. Like I feel like they go a little too big for what it is, but you can see the potential for doing like a game even bigger than this. I almost feel like being all about space kind of just makes this game feel a little like limited at times. Like I said, like a good chunk of the game, like it just kind of feels like we're in this generic ass space station a lot of the time, or going through these space stations. And then you also have like these planets you go to, which really don't have like much to do in them. I mean, like they have stuff to do in them, but like I don't care to explore these. Like these lantern planets are just kind of like lame. And I think it's cute how they have like a bunch of different things. You know, you have like Adam West in the game. You have like a bunch of like classic Batman, like the 1960s show references. Kevin Smith and Conan O'Brien are in the game. Daffy Duck is in the game, which is cool, but it's also like, what am I doing here, man? This just feels like a bunch of random shit thrown at me. I think this is low A. I like this game. It's good. You know, it's a solid LEGO Batman game. It's a solid LEGO game. I don't really think it's a good LEGO Batman game. I think at this point they should have just changed it to LEGO DC Superheroes instead of LEGO Batman, but Batman is the most popular, it's the most recognizable, you already have successful LEGO Batman games under your belt, so yeah, call this LEGO Batman 3. But I just think this one is like definitely on lower than the other ones. LEGO Batman 1 is classic, LEGO Batman 2 is bigger and better in pretty much every way. LEGO Batman 3 is weird, especially with its dumbass suit mechanic. Okay, so this is obviously more of like Scott being a little Dumbo baby brain loser. But so like LEGO Batman, a big element of the LEGO Batman games is you know, you have different suits. You know, Batman has different suits, Robin has different suits. So you can you switch to them when, you know, normally in LEGO Batman 1 and 2, you would build a new suit changing little circle, and the game would give you a new suit when in that area of the level you would need that suit. LEGO Batman 3, you pretty much have access to every one of your suits at all times, and there's just so many sections in this game where I'm just kind of like, all right, I have access to like 9 different suits right now, and I don't know which one this game wants me to use. There were like sections where, as Robin, I have to use like his little like techno hacker suit or whatever it is, where this little mini Robin comes out and enters like this little hole, and then comes out in like a different section. And then when I'm like controlling the little mini Robin, these little prompts come up where it's like, oh yeah, hit the triangle button. And I'm like, okay. And I hit it, and then it brings me back to fucking Robin. And then I have to redo this whole thing, and I have to bring out the mini Robin again. I'm rambling. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just so many more opportunities to not really know what you need to do in that section to proceed. And most of the time the game will kind of tell you, the game will kind of tell you like, hey, you might need this suit here, but I don't know. I kind of like how the first 2 games do it a little better. You know what? Let's go a little modern here. Let's talk about some of the more modern LEGO releases, starting with LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. This one is interesting because it took so damn long to come out. They announced it in 2019. It finally launched in 2022, which is unheard of for most of these LEGO games. Like most of the time, they would come out with like 1 to 3 every year. And that's the main games, like that's not even counting the handheld games, all the extra games, like whatever, like Lego Battles on DS, Lego Laval's Journey. No, they took their time with this one, and that's for a multitude of reasons. You have the whole thing where this game used like the NTT engine, which was like a brand new engine, in-house engine for Traveler's Tales, and they tried to make this game entirely on that, and that engine was a nightmare to use. It probably delayed this game at least a year itself. And after this game, they were like, we are never going to use this ever again. So that's really sad that they spent all this time and probably money on creating their very own engine. And after one game, they were like, well, that was a fucking mistake. But on top of that, like, there was a lot of like mismanagement of this game. And plus, like, this game was so damn ambitious. I mean, it's like all 9 Star Wars movies in one game. On top of this game, featuring like a brand new gameplay style for LEGO games. Like, they reworked everything. It's like an entirely new game. And that's one of the reasons why I think this game isn't gonna be that high up. I respect the hell out of this game. I think it's a solid game. I would recommend this game to most people. I would say, like, this is a great package. Emphasis on package. I'm not really sure if it's a great LEGO game. It's a really cool adaptation of all 9 of the Star Wars movies. It looks beautiful. It plays good. But overall, I do kind of feel like the puzzles in this game are oftentimes non-existent. And for the most part, every level is so damn straightforward. And like, I know LEGO games are generally meant to be pretty easy, but this game, it's not only easy, it's literally brain dead. And that's kind of like one of the big problems with it, in my opinion. Like, it is so brain dead, and it lacks a lot of the identity of the LEGO games before it. The fact that they give you this whole third-person over-the-shoulder camera now, it's like cool. It definitely makes it look immediately a little more impressive. Like, wow, like, we're doing this now? But, like, getting down to brass tacks, like, it feels like they want this to be kind of, like, looked at as, like, another big AAA game or something. But it's, like, it's not going to be as good as, like, most AAA third-person shooters. And it's also not as good as, like, the normal LEGO game. So it's in this weird middle ground where, like, I don't really feel like it satisfies either camp of, like, oh, I want a traditional third-person shooter. Oh, I want a LEGO game. Like, it's not really great at either. Now, later in the game, when you get to, like, stuff like, let's say, like, The Force Awakens, the trilogy of sequels of Star Wars movies, the game definitely gets a lot more in-depth. There's more mechanics introduced and everything. But I find it weird that they balance the difficulty like that, kind of, or they introduce new things like that. I almost feel like they should have treated each trilogy as if it's their own game. Like, in terms of difficulty, that is. Where it's like, oh, like, each movie gets progressively harder. And they do that, but it feels like the prequel trilogy is completely easy mode. And then the original trilogy is kind of like medium difficulty. And then the sequel trilogy, things get a little more hard, things get a little more complicated. The levels themselves are really short, and it kind of feels like a lot of them are padded out with cutscenes and like just going to different waypoints. Definitely makes me look at like the complete saga, and I'm going like, yeah, I kind of would prefer that. I kind of like just walking into a movie's room and just playing a level, and that's it. Instead, in this game, they have all these different hub worlds, and that's where most of this game's like value comes from, is exploring the hub worlds and doing all the little side quests and everything. That is where Skywalker Saga shines. But as a traditional Lego game, I think it's at top of B tier. Don't get me wrong, I respect the hell out of this game, like how polished it is and just all the work that went into it. You can tell that this was a really well done project. But when it comes to being a Lego game, I don't really think it's a great Lego game. Speaking of which, I'm gonna bitch about Lego Horizon Adventures. I don't really like this game. I'm gonna put it right below Lego Indiana Jones 2. So this game was not developed by TT Games. This was like Studio Gobo and Guerrilla Games, who developed the traditional Horizon games. The concept behind this, I don't mind at all. I think it's really cool to do like a Lego adaptation of a video game series. I've always thought that would be cool. Like the idea of like a Lego Mario game. Hell, even like Lego Halo, Lego Uncharted, or whatever, you know, like there's so many different things they could do. Lego Horizon wouldn't have been my first pick, but I understand why they did it. In the Lego games video, I talk about my little conspiracy theory. I mean, obviously Sony is really pushing Horizon. They really want Horizon to be a big thing. And it is a big thing, you know, we can't act like it isn't, you know. I think when there's new Horizon announcements, I consistently see people go like, ugh, why are they pushing Horizon so much? Because Horizon is a big franchise. But I think my argument with this is like, is it that big of a franchise to warrant them literally shoving it down our throats this much? And from my perspective, it just seems like it's shoved down our throats this much because it is their most marketable franchise. You know, it's T-rated, so it's not super kiddie or anything, but kids still could play it and enjoy it because it's not too adult. But all adults could enjoy it. They wouldn't be like, oh man, this is for babies or anything. And you know, you could probably make like a little PG-13 movie based off of it. You know, it's an ongoing franchise, and you know, there's so many different little things you can do with it, like in terms of merchandise. I mean, they did Lego Horizon sets before this game, so yeah, I guess like whatever. Like it makes sense that they would commission this, but you know, it does feel very corporate to me. It does feel very much like Sony was like, well, this is a part of our master plan. But the game itself is honestly really damn boring. You know, it feels like they wanted this to be kind of like a TT Games joint, but they lacked any of the puzzles. They lacked any of the interesting elements. I think the game looks really good. I think it is really cool that it's all made out of Lego. You know, it is very neat. But for the most part, like literally every level plays the same. It is just such a repetitive beat 'em up, pretty much. You just go through a level, you defeat all the enemies, that's it. The combat is pretty good for what it is. You know, you have your arrow that you shoot out, and you know, it controls in an interesting way. It functions in an interesting way. I mean, interesting in the sense that like there's not a ton of games that do it like this, where it's like from a top-down perspective and you hold it and this is how it happens. Whatever. Like, okay, it's not very interesting. The combat is decent, but it's not enough to really warrant me playing this for more than an hour. This is boring. I don't really like this game. It feels very much like a Lego The Hobbit to me, where it's like, this was done not because The Hobbit deserves a Lego adaptation. It's done because the companies are like, we want a Lego adaptation of this game. Like Indiana Jones 2 as well. So speaking of that, Lego The Hobbit. I don't have much to say about this game other than I'm putting it at the bottom of a B tier. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's a fine Lego game, but like, it's another one of those where I'm like, what's the point of this? Especially the fact that it doesn't include the third movie. Like, why did they release it when they did? I don't know, but I just don't really care. I think B tier is totally fine for that. How about Lego Rock Band? This is kind of funny. You know, Lego Rock Band is an interesting concept. You know, the fact that it's like a family-friendly kind of rock band game. It's weird because I don't think they ever released like a full-blown rock band set for this game. There was never like a set that came with drums and a guitar and all of that. Like, this was pretty much just for people that already owned like a set, which is weird. I guess it makes sense, you know, it's pretty much just like a track list with like Legos dancing in the background. There's like a build a band mode in here. You know, they do stuff with the Lego brand. You know, the notes you play are Lego bricks. I do like the track list in this game because, you know, I'm a little baby. I do find it interesting that Lego list of songs in Lego Rock Band still has its very own Wikipedia article. That is insane. Think about all the things in the world that don't have Wikipedia articles, and then look at the fact that list of songs in Lego Rock Band has its very own. Yeah, there's just like a lot of like really fun like classic songs from the mid 2000s and just like a lot of legendary just like fun pop songs, just songs everybody knows. I think that's the main thing I really like about it. It's a bunch of songs that everybody knows, and it's really, really fun. You know, check yes Juliet. Let me see, I always kind of need to follow the lyrics of this. Check yes Juliet, are you with me? Rain is falling down on the sidewalk. I won't go until you come outside. Yeah, so you can sing that as a Lego figure. Yeah, Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts. That's a big one. I never knew that was a cover. That's a cover of another of a song from like the 90s. I never knew that. I always thought Rascal Flatts, the Rascal Flatts version, was the original. They got Accidentally in Love from Shrek 2 in this game. That's fucking awesome. The Ghostbusters theme? Yeah, this game is I'm gonna put it at a high B. It's a solid rock band game. I do like it. I like the variety of songs in it. Because I was a kid around the time this game came out, and I do like the track list because it is kind of fun. I think Lego Rock Band might be one of the best rock band games to bring out for like a general audience. And I think everybody will have a couple of songs they really, really like in Lego Rock Band. So I think it belongs in high B tier. Probably not above because it is literally just Rock Band with a Lego skin. Lego DC Supervillains, I think, belongs right below the first Lego Batman. It is a part of like the Lego Batman lineage, but it is kind of like more of like a fun little spin-off that's focused on the villains. And I think it is kind of cool that, you know, they come back to the villains concept from Lego Batman 1, the fact that you have the whole extra villains mode in that game. But, you know, that was pretty much like you were playing through similar levels or flat out the same levels, but as the villains. Now it's like, okay, now you have a full-blown villains game. And it is really cool. I think this is like one of the most fun-feeling Lego games they've done in the later years of Lego games, because this was like the last big one they released before Lego Movie 2 and then Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. So this feels like a really fun little party, a culmination of like old and new from the Lego games. You know, it kind of feels like it has a lot of that fun spirit from the first few titles, but it also has like the polish of the new stuff. And the fact that, you know, a custom character plays a vital role in the story, the fact that you have to create a custom character is really neat, because that's been a huge element of basically most of these Lego games. You could pretty much always create your own Lego minifigure, but that was always kind of like a little side thing. And in DC Supervillains, it's a core part of the game, which is neat that they actually did that. Now, Lego The Incredibles, whenever I would look up opinions on Lego games, Lego The Incredibles is often considered like one of the worst, and I definitely gave it its due in the Lego games episode. But I'm going to be honest, I feel like this one is probably the most overhated Lego game. I think it's still pretty good. And I think it's weird when people say that, like, oh my god, the puzzles are too simple in this Lego game, but then they'll praise something like Lego Star Wars, The Complete Saga, or the first two Lego Star Wars games. Like, those games have really simple fucking puzzles. And like, I don't think Lego The Incredibles is bad at all. I think it has some quirks. I think it has some weird things about it. I think The Incredibles was a weird pick. I love The Incredibles, you know, it's one of the best Pixar movies, but there's better Pixar movies that I think would have made for a more fleshed out experience. I think the Toy Story movies would probably be better. I mean, there's 4 to pick from, and there's much more like iconic locations to explore and make levels out of. Not that The Incredibles doesn't have that stuff, but I just kind of feel like, you know, when I compare Toy Story to The Incredibles, you know, I immediately think of like, oh, you have so many different characters in Toy Story. Then you have all these different locations. You have like the, you know, Andy's room, and then you have like Pizza Planet, and then you have like Sid's room, and you have all these other things from all the other movies. You have like the daycare. You have all this stuff that you can do. And The Incredibles, like, yeah, you have a lot of characters, but I just don't really think you have, like, enough to really warrant, like, a big Lego game. Especially when, like, you start unlocking characters in Lego The Incredibles, you can tell they're really kind of stretching things. Like, there's lore that they do reference. I believe, like, a lot of the characters in Lego The Incredibles are based on something. You know, like, they might have been taken from, like, certain parts of the franchise. Like, there might have been, like, a little featurette included on like the DVD that talked about like a certain superhero, and that superhero's in the game, you know. And you know, I'm kind of conflicted on that. You know, the fact that they have to go dig that deep for a reference. On one hand, that's a really cool kind of weird reference to make. On the other, it's kind of the fact that I'm like, man, you had to dig that deep to find like more characters to put in this game. And like the hub world feels very generic. It doesn't really necessarily feel like we're in the world of The Incredibles. It kind of just feels like we're in a city, you know. But I do like this game. I think it does some cool things. I think it's fun. You know, it is unique. It does definitely feel more fresh than a lot of other Lego games, just because like a lot of the other ones feel like, you know, you're kind of going for very similar franchises. And even though this one is yet another superhero Lego game, you know, we already have a ton of Batman ones. We already have a ton of Marvel ones. I think this one at least feels pretty unique, pretty distinct. I probably would put it at the top of B tier, honestly. Lego 2K Drive. There's another weird one. I think this one mainly boils down to the microtransactions is like the biggest like problem with this game. Other than that, it's like a pretty decent little kart racer, and you know, it has a big fun open world to drive around in, you know, and it feels good, and you know, it plays well, and the track designs or whatever, you know, like they work. They're just nothing special. I think I'm gonna put this right below Skywalker Saga. I think it is a very high quality little racing game. If you know, like it's one of those games where I wouldn't really recommend you buying it at full price. It's one of those like really great sale picks, or like if it was on Xbox Game Pass, you know, give it a download, play through it, and you'll probably be like, wow, this is pretty fun. It's nothing that I would really recommend, you know, paying full price for, going out of your way to play. But for what it is, like, I'm like, it's pretty decent. And I think it's kind of cool to come back to like the Lego Racers formula. Not really formula, but at least kind of like, you know, another Lego racing game. And it's kind of like a very cool, like modern take on Lego Racers. Lego Fortnite. I played this one for a little bit. I don't really give a shit about these kind of games. You know, it's not really Fortnite. It's more so Minecraft. You know, it looks like a Lego version of Fortnite, but it plays like Minecraft. I don't give a damn. Here's the thing. I think this game probably warrants a little more love than what I'm giving it. But this is my personal list. I'm going to put this right above Lego Island. The Lego Ninjago movie video game, for somebody who knows nothing about Lego Ninjago outside of the hour I spent on the Lego Ninjago wiki. I never saw the movie. I never consumed really anything of this franchise. But playing this game, I think this was pretty cool. I think this was a pretty cool game, and you know, it definitely does kind of suffer from the same problems as the other Lego movie games. You know, the fact that it's quite a bit shorter. You know, and the fact that you're basing this off of one single movie. You know, I feel like that always kind of brings out a little bit of problems in these games. But I find that, you know, having this one a lot more focused on combat makes this feel very, very fun and fast-paced and frantic. I really like the feel of this game, and the setting. It just feels like there's so much going on. Like, the first level is very cool. You have all this stuff going on all over the place. It feels very well done. Like, the idea that this was just kind of farted out, like, I don't see it. Like, watch gameplay of this. It doesn't look farted out. I'd probably put it still right alongside the Lego Movie video game, and I'd still probably put Lego Movie video game above it because, I just vibe with the source material a little more. But still, like, a pretty damn good effort. Like, I think Lego Ninjago Movie video game is pretty damn solid. Lego Lord of the Rings, I think it's still a pretty damn good one. I'd put it on the bottom of A tier. I think this one kind of got a little frustrating for me with the amount of characters that you kind of have to control, at least in the early parts of the game. Like, you have to literally control a full wheel of characters, and there were many times where it's just, you just have to swap between the same damn 3 over and over and over again to do just the same damn things over and over and over again. And you have to use one specific character to dig a hole. You have to use one specific character to throw another character. Then you have to go to that character, you have to do something as them, and then you swap back to the other ones, and you have to help out the other characters with this character. It got really fucking repetitive. But over the course of the game, it does get a little better. This was the first one to use just flat out movie clips for the dialogue, which, again, like, I wasn't that into. I understood kind of the humor out of it, the fact that, like, we're using just direct movie clips, and they incorporate them fairly well. Like, in many cases, you wouldn't really tell that these were, like, archival recordings. They did a good job incorporating them into the game, but I felt like that made the humor a lot lesser because, they had to just pretty much adapt the scenes beat for beat, and they do some fun little things here and there, but for the most part, like, I just kind of felt like the charm was a little lessened in this game. Lego The Avengers is a worse version of Lego Marvel Superheroes. I guess I see the value in it if you want a Lego adaptation of specific Marvel movies, but I just kind of feel like you get everything you really need out of the original Lego Marvel Superheroes. And like this one, I don't really feel like the dialogue works that great. It does the same thing as Lord of the Rings, where it's just taken directly from the movie, and it's just like a lot of the audio just doesn't really mesh very well for me. And like, I just feel like the overall concept of this game feels a little cash grabby. It doesn't really feel like it was really that warranted, other than like the Avengers name is big, so let's do another Lego Marvel game, but let's just call it Lego Avengers. I'm gonna put this right above the Lego Movie video game. I'm not acting like that makes sense. Like that's just how I'm feeling right now. Honestly, I'm not saying that that's where the quality of this game lies, but that's just where my personal taste is. And I eat dog shit for lunch every single day, so that's my personal taste, so take that for what it is. Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4 and Lego Harry Potter years 5 through 7. These very much feel kind of like, you have one, you have the other. They both kind of go in tandem with me. I would say these belong in A tier. I think Lego Harry Potter's biggest strength is the world design. It genuinely does feel like you are at Hogwarts in Lego Harry Potter. They did a really good job with it. It feels very detailed. It feels very much like ripped straight from the source material. It also does have that early Lego charm. I mean, Lego Harry Potter years 5 through 7 was like the last game that didn't have any dialogue. I will definitely say, with all the different spells you have to take into account, this is one of the more confusing Lego games for me, and that makes me sound really fucking dumb, so I understand. But there was a couple of moments in this game where I was just like, what do I do, bro? Like, this is stupid. And then the solution, I find it, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm gonna put these right below Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. I think these are very high quality Lego games. I think these were pretty solid. I definitely had my weird little problems with them. Same with Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. I feel like this is kind of along the lines of like a Lego Lord of the Rings for me. I didn't really care about this one that awful much, but I do respect it. It is kind of in that same line as like, it's a fine one. And when I say that, I'm kind of going like, this doesn't have like super apparent flaws. It's just, I just didn't care for it as much as like some of the other games. And that's the same for Lego Jurassic World and Lego Marvel Superheroes. These were just, they were fine. I'd probably put Jurassic World below Pirates, and I'd probably put Lego Marvel Superheroes. I really didn't give a shit about this one, didn't I? This might make absolutely no sense. I'll put this above Lego Avengers in B tier. I did not give a damn about this game. I think I was just getting really burnt out at that point. I was just like, I don't care. Lego Marvel Superheroes just kind of felt like it did everything it needed to do. And this one introduces more characters and everything, but they also get rid of some. I'm just like, what the fuck ever, man. Lego Worlds, God, I'm giving that like below Lego Indiana Jones 2. Like, I'm genuinely thinking, like, what would I rather play? Lego Indiana Jones 2 or Lego Worlds? Fucking Lego Indiana Jones 2 any day. I mean, Lego Worlds is like, okay, like, Lego is taking on Minecraft. Good for them. But again, it's just fucking play Minecraft. Lego Worlds is like, it's cute. You know, you get the Lego branding. That's fun. But like, who gives a shit? And then we have Lego Dimensions. Man. Lego Dimensions always had like a huge fan base. I think it definitely had the highest potential of any Toys to Life series. Like, this sounded awesome. I hate the gameplay. It pretty much completely boils down to the fact that you have to use like the portal. You have to move things around on the portal. I just always found that to be annoying. But it's also the fact that, like, yes, this game it has an incredible concept and like they fulfilled it, but it plays like pretty much any other Lego game except with only 3 characters available for a $100 starting price. And yes, you get the toys, you know, that's something. But man, you know, like the value of this game was absolutely just bonkers in a bad way. The crossover element was really damn cool. I cannot understate that enough. But yeah, just the fact that, like, oh my God, like, you had to spend hundreds of dollars to get even to like a fraction of the amount of characters that you'd have in like Lego Marvel Superheroes or something, you know? I think I'm putting this above Lego Fortnite respectfully because I think like this was a really cool project and I would love to see Lego Dimensions kind of come back as a project without the Toys to Life nonsense. I think it was an amazing idea, but it was just kind of like muddied by the cost of it all. And also, they just had to validate the physical toys in a gameplay perspective. And I just felt like that was really clunky. I didn't really like that. Much how I thought pretty much most of these Lego games were clunky. And I didn't really like them. Honestly, I feel like a lot of my opinions with these games come from playing so many of them one after another. And just kind of feeling like, God damn, like this is just the same thing. But they aren't really, you know, like these games are the same, but they aren't. I would not recommend playing every single one of them in a short period of time between each other. Rather, I mean, like I can imagine playing all of them throughout a lifespan, and I think you'd have a great time with it. I'd say the good majority of these games are solid games, you know, and consumed by themselves. They're great. I think if you play Lego Indiana Jones 2 by itself, I think it's like a perfectly fine game. Playing it after playing like 20 other Lego games, it's like, wow, this kind of sucks. But you know what? Throughout this experience, I definitely came to appreciate a lot of these games quite a bit. You know, I had my fun with them, and I would love to play more of them, honestly. Because, you know, obviously I couldn't beat every single one of these games. I had to play, you know, a good couple of hours of each of them. You know, like I would definitely be happy to jump back into some of these and play them through to the end. And even like 100% some of them. I think a lot of these games are really damn fun. So thank you for forcing me to play through pretty much all of these Lego games. Yes, even Soccer Mania. This is the face of somebody who's thanking you.